This is Heath Floor, E3 2012 for Neoseeker.com. We're here with Chris Lena at Trion. We're going to look at End of Nations.
Yeah, hi. Great to have you here. We're showing End of Nations, a persistent online strategy game. Like I said, being published by Trion Worlds and developed by Petroglyph Games. So here we are in our war room. We've already have our character created, our commander. There's 4 different commander classes in the game you can play. What we're showing here today is a 2 versus 2 PvP map, but we do have maps that go all the way up to 28 versus 28. So 12v12, 28v28, and everything in between. And also we have some cooperative maps as well. So we're just going to hop into Icebreaker. We're just waiting for one other person to join the map. So here you see the war map, the war room map here. We'll have a bunch of different maps, and what's happening is the 2 player factions are fighting for control of real territory. So it's a 24/7 territory control battle. Owning territory will give your side a small buff, and this will go in a season. So maybe 2 weeks or a month, the campaign will end and it'll restart again. A whole different theme, a different storyline to it. So truly making a persistent online living world that an RTS really hasn't seen before. All right, so the 4 players have accepted now, so we're going to go into the deploy screen. This is the... All right, so here's a icebreaker. So here's the deploy screen. Here's me and my partner going in. This is also where I'm choosing the company I want to go in with. You pre-make your company's collection of units, tactical structures, and abilities to bring into the map. So it's already part of the strategy. I'm going in with what we call an elite company. This one's called the Liberté Brigade. Unique units, unique look, even unique voiceovers to all the units, all the unit callouts. And they also include hero units. So we're going to go in with these guys, and I'll show you how they're used uniquely. Essentially, they're like pre-made companies with a very unique gameplay style. All right, so we're ready to deploy. And that screen is also a great way to talk with your other people on your team. Or you're bringing in anti-air or tanks and kind of really create the team you need for the battle. All right, here we are in the map. Bring up a bigger version of the map. So here we are. Hints. So here we are here. This is my base, me and my partner. The other base is on this side. And each base has a shield over it. And you have to take 2 of these 3-star control points in order to drop the other person's shield before you can attack their base. And these 2 other control points, holding those gives you tactical resources. And you can use that to place your structures, use your abilities, and bring back any units that were killed in the battle. So all those points are very important. Now this particular company, it's built with a really long-range artillery. So here's Moose, my hero unit. I can dig him into the ground, so he builds this little structure here, which doubles his range. And now in addition to that, I have these units that are stealth units. So I can send them out to scout, reveal the fog of war at a bigger area of awareness. And then when I get to where I want to be, once I stop, they'll stealth, so no longer can be seen. And now I can use that area of awareness to shoot my long-range artillery into there. So now you're in a position where the opponent has to find out where your long-range artillery is and defeat it. This is just one example of an elite company and also hero units. They all have this really unique way of playing without us having to just add a bunch of units to the game and really hurt the balance. So it's a big part of it.
So the recon units, will they be displaying the enemy units on the map as they pass by?
Yeah, so you'll see the red marks on the mini-map or the bigger map of enemy units, and then also you can always just switch to where they are and see what's going on. Here we go, I'm going to place some tactical structures. I have these special huge anti-air, so I'm going to place these to try to fortify this control point for myself.
Now I noticed the air crew is dropping supplies for you. What are those?
Yeah, what that is the tactical structures that I just placed. They get dropped in by aircraft. There's a small build time before they pop up and they're able to use. So it makes most of them more defensive than offensive because they're vulnerable when they're first coming up. But each class has different set of structures. Some of them build faster than others, so some of them are more offensive than others. So every class plays very differently, very uniquely. I'm playing a Patriot right now, so I'm I'm really more of a assistance class. So I have a lot of cool infantry. I also have a lot of buffs I can give my allies, as opposed to the Spartan, who has the largest tanks, for instance, just as a...
So the Spartan's more of the spearhead of the group.
More the spearhead. So you can see I'm slowly taking over this control point. Different units take control points faster. Infantry takes points really fast, and the more units you have in the area, the faster it goes as well. So there's all those different rules between the different units. When this turns green, I'll own it.
Now, earlier you mentioned that this is happening in real time. I'm assuming on a global wide, 24/7, the maps are being updated with the latest data from the players in their battles?
Yeah, so you'll see on that war room map where we started, you can see each of these maps have a territory associated with it. And if your side wins enough matches, it'll flip control. You'll see it change color dynamically to your territory control. And then it'll take a bunch of battles for the enemy to take it back. So first it'll fall into a neutral state and then eventually be turned over to the other faction. So there's that constant tug of war, whether you're awake or asleep or at school or at home. But it's based on faction, so it's not like you as a person have to be totally worried about, is my base being attacked? It's more of a faction control. So
I could still see some people losing sleep over it, though.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. All right. And also, if you bring in the wrong company, you feel like, I brought in this elite company, I'm getting hammered, it's not working for me, you can actually switch the company with any of your pre-made companies you have and switch them out. Like, oh, you know what? I really could use some infantry to take these points faster. This is just going way too slow. So I can switch out my company, and then they'll come back in here after a small delay. Here they come. So now I'm bringing in these Aesir infantry and also these Hydra, which shoots a caustic gas, like a damage over time area effect. So very different play style. And what also you can do is you can create control groups. So if I want to, let's say, send my infantry to the bottom of the map to take a control point, because they're really good at that, I can send them separately, and also then send my other ones straight into the fray. So you also can split up your units as well. If you're more of the player who likes to micromanage, you do have that gameplay.
Now, is there a time where you may permanently lose some of your built-up divisions?
You'll never lose anything permanently. Okay. In the map, if something gets killed, as long as you have the resources necessary, you can bring it back at your landing zone. And now with this one also, too, I have a heal commander ability. Like I said, I'm the Patriot, so I have more of some support abilities. Right. So this is a heal, although I can heal my ally if he doesn't die fast. Doesn't die. So you see these wrenches. So I just heal all his units. So here I am being able to support, which is great too, because when we have these large maps like a 12 versus 12 or a 28 versus 28, you don't have to feel the pressure of having to perform like 1v1, like maybe a different RTS. You can be like the 12th guy on the team, concentrate more on maybe support and healing and buffs, and kind of learn slowly your way into the game. All right, so it's a lot more user-friendly for people. Every unit has their own special abilities too, so here's that caustic gas I mentioned. I can shoot that and create this area of damage. The other unique thing about this map is we also have these drone factories on our side, spitting out, here you go, coming up now, spitting out automated drones to attack your enemy. I also can spend my resources, if I want to upgrade these points to have more powerful vehicles come out of it. So you also have these sort of creeps that are also playing on your side. It's a good example how we can make every map play very uniquely based on these systems like of factories and also the control points. We can do something very different with each one of them, have every map play and feel very differently. Looks like this match is going to go on for a while. So it gives you a good example of gameplay. A match like this usually lasts 15 or 20 minutes, but the players aren't thinking. They spend too much time just attacking each other instead of taking those control points. These matches can last quite a while. So here's a good introduction to the game for you guys, and just a small slice of the kind of maps that we're going to have to offer.